Essay number 100. Stop chasing happiness. You've been lied to your entire life. You've been told that happiness is the goal, that if you're not happy, something's wrong with you, that the entire point of existence is to feel good as much as possible for as long as possible. And that lie is destroying you. Alan Watts understood this decades ago. He taught that the desire for security and the feeling of insecurity are the same thing, that trying to hold your breath is exactly how you lose your breath, that grasping for happiness is precisely what prevents you from experiencing it. Traditional Zen Buddhism has been saying this for thousands of years. To desire fulfillment is to not have fulfillment. Happiness isn't something you seek, it's something you become, but not by trying to become it. I know these sound like empty platitudes. Another philosopher saying something that sounds profound but doesn't actually help you pay your bills or fix your relationships or deal with your anxiety. But stay with me, because understanding this could free you from the trap you don't even know you're in. The idea that human beings should be constantly happy is, as Andrew Weil put it, a uniquely modern, uniquely American, uniquely destructive idea. Think about that. For all of human history, nobody expected to be happy all the time. They expected to survive, they expected to find meaning, they expected to contribute, they expected to endure. But constant happiness? That's an invention of the last 100 years, and it's making us miserable. Our obsession with perpetual happiness drives everything that's wrong with modern life. It drives consumerism, buy this and you'll be happy. It drives social media, look happy so others think you're winning. It drives our denial of death, don't think about anything sad or serious or real. We're so desperate to be happy that we've built an entire civilization around avoiding reality. And the sick joke? The more we chase happiness, the less happy we become. There's actually a scientific term for this, hedonic adaptation. It means that humans get used to whatever happens to them. You get the promotion you wanted and you're thrilled for about 2 weeks. Then it's just your new normal. You finally get married and you're ecstatic for a few months. Then it's just your life. Psychologists call this returning to baseline. No matter what happens, good or bad, we tend to return to our default level of satisfaction. Win the lottery? You'll be back to baseline within a year. Become paralyzed? You'll be back to baseline within a year. This is why chasing happiness is insane. You're trying to maintain a high that's designed to be temporary. You're fighting against your own biology. You're trying to sustain something that, by its very nature, cannot be sustained. It's like trying to stay at the peak of an orgasm forever. Not only is it impossible, but the attempt would ruin the actual experience. When you chase happiness, you're really just trying to string together enough positive events to avoid ever feeling your baseline. But your baseline isn't the problem. Your baseline is your life, and trying to escape it is trying to escape being human. Here's what actually works. Stop chasing happiness entirely. I know that sounds insane, but happiness isn't something you achieve by pursuing it. Happiness is a byproduct. It's what happens when you're doing something else entirely. Happiness is the byproduct of doing things that are challenging, not easy things that feel good, hard things that demand everything from you. Happiness is the byproduct of doing things that are meaningful, not pleasant things that pass the time, important things that matter beyond yourself. Happiness is the byproduct of doing things that are beautiful, not pretty things that look nice, beautiful things that crack you open and change how you see the world. Happiness is the byproduct of doing things that are worthwhile, not things that pay well or impress people, things that, at the end of your life, you'll be glad you did. Chase knowledge instead of happiness. Chase the ability to think clearly, to see with more dimension, to understand more deeply. These things don't make you happy in the moment. They make you capable of experiencing deeper forms of satisfaction than happiness could ever provide. Chase the kind of discomfort that comes from doing something so profound it knocks you off your axis. Chase the fear that comes before doing something that matters. Chase the vulnerability that comes from being truly seen. Stop trying to balance your life to maximize happiness. Tip the scales toward what matters, even if it's difficult. Do the hard things that make you feel raw and exposed. Stop avoiding discomfort because comfort makes you temporarily feel good. Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. To avoid pain is to avoid happiness. They're not opposites. They're different faces of the same capacity, the capacity to feel. When you numb yourself to pain, you numb yourself to joy. When you avoid sadness, you avoid depth. When you skip the struggle, you skip the meaning. We've created a culture of people desperately chasing a kind of empty happiness that never fills them. Pleasure without purpose, comfort without growth, ease without meaning. And it's left us as shells of the people we're supposed to be. The people who built everything you admire weren't chasing happiness. The artists whose work moves you weren't trying to feel good. The inventors who changed the world weren't optimizing for pleasure. The writers whose words saved you weren't pursuing comfort. They were chasing something bigger than happiness. They were chasing truth, beauty, meaning, impact, understanding, connection, growth. And happiness was just what happened along the way. Think about the happiest moments of your life. Were you chasing happiness when they happened? Or were you fully absorbed in something else, a challenge, a connection, a creation, a moment of beauty, and happiness was just the natural result? You already know the answer. The happiness you remember, the happiness that actually mattered, was never the happiness you chased. It was the happiness that caught you by surprise while you were busy doing something real. This is why the self-help industry is such a scam. It promises you happiness if you just follow these steps, buy this course, think these thoughts. But happiness cannot be achieved through pursuing happiness. It's like trying to fall asleep by trying really hard to fall asleep. The effort itself prevents the outcome. So what should you do instead? Stop asking, will this make me happy? Start asking, is this meaningful? Stop asking, how can I feel better? Start asking, what needs to be done? Stop asking, how can I avoid pain? Start asking, what's worth suffering for? Because everything worth doing involves suffering. Love involves the pain of vulnerability and loss. Creation involves the pain of failure and criticism. Growth involves the pain of change and uncertainty. Meaning involves the pain of responsibility and sacrifice. The question isn't how to be happy. The question is what you're willing to be unhappy for. What pain do you choose? What struggle do you embrace? What difficulty do you welcome? Because that's where your real life is. Not in the happiness you're chasing, but in the meaningful struggle you're avoiding. The person you're meant to become isn't waiting on the other side of happiness. They're waiting on the other side of the challenges you're not taking, the growth you're not pursuing, the meaning you're not creating. Stop chasing happiness. Start chasing what matters. Start chasing what's difficult. Start chasing what's real. Because happiness, real happiness, the kind that actually fills you, isn't something you find. It's something that finds you when you're too busy doing meaningful work to notice you're happy. The ancients knew this. Every wisdom tradition knows this. Deep down, you know this too. The question is, are you brave enough to stop chasing happiness and start living instead? Are you willing to give up the futile pursuit of feeling good in exchange for the difficult pursuit of being real? Are you ready to stop trying to be happy and start trying to be whole? Because wholeness includes everything: joy and sorrow, pleasure and pain, satisfaction and longing. Wholeness doesn't chase happiness because it includes happiness. It doesn't avoid pain because it includes pain. It doesn't seek completion because it's already complete. This is the secret. When you stop chasing happiness, happiness starts showing up. When you stop demanding that life make you feel good, life starts feeling good. When you stop trying to manipulate your experience into constant pleasure, you start experiencing genuine joy. Not because you achieved happiness, but because you stopped making happiness the goal. The desire for happiness and the experience of happiness cannot coexist. Pick one. I suggest you pick the one that leads to a life worth living. Stop chasing happiness. Start chasing life. The happiness will come. It always does. When you're not looking, when you're not chasing, when you're too busy living to notice you're happy. That's the secret. That's always been the secret. Now stop chasing and start living. Your real life is waiting.